I just need a moment. Just give me a moment.
Hi and welcome to the running channel. I'm Anna, and today with Rick we're going to be going through some top tips to help you run your first 5k.
Yeah, if you're completely new to running and planning on taking on your first organised race, these top tips will help get you through it.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the running channel so you get notifications when we upload new videos like this one.
Make sure you give yourself time to train for the run. You'll need at least 6 weeks, but depending on your fitness, you might need up to 10. Expect to start with a mixture of running and walking. Now, if you've got a fairly solid base level of fitness, you might be able to do this in a couple of weeks, but actually training means you'll get to the finish line a lot quicker. There are lots of free 5k runs up and down the country that you can pick one to fit your time frame. Park runs happen every Saturday, usually at 9 AM. These are free, fun, well organised and easy to turn up to, and they're not full of speedsters, though you don't get yourself a medal at the end.
Have a look for a training plan. There's loads to choose from online, and you can pick one that you can manage to fit in around everything else that you're doing as well. Loads of people, when they first start out running 5k, use the Couch to 5k app, for example, and all you've got to do is get out there and tick those runs off. Just remember though, if this is your very first time that you're embarking on a 5k, we've got loads of tips for you. Just check out our video, Running Tips for Beginners. Our goals will all take different forms. It might be that you just want to get to the end. You might want to run the whole way without walking, or you might have a specific time goal in mind. Bear that goal in mind when you are looking for a training plan. And those training plans will take different forms as well. So they might measure your runs in time or in distance. So for example, you might have written down to run for 5 minutes and walk for 2 minutes, or it might be run for 1 kilometre and walk for 1 kilometre. If you're measuring distance for your runs, you're probably going to need a GPS watch, or you could use an app, for example, Strava or Map My Run on your phone. They can measure your distance for you, but don't worry too much about that. If you just want to go out and run for a specific time for your plan, then you just need an ordinary watch to do that.
Don't overload yourself. You can't be too ambitious. Although ambition is good, if you start off going in too heavy, it's more likely you'll get injured, or basically you just give up because it's too hard. At the same time, don't be too easy on yourself. It's good to push yourself, but not too extreme where you go over the top.
One of the key factors to successfully training for your first 5k is consistency. Most training plans will have you running probably up to 3 times a week. So try and set your running days for the same days each week. That way you then get into more of a habit. Also try and run in the morning. You're then less likely to put it off for the rest of the day. Lay your clothes out the night before, get everything ready, and don't overthink it. That way you can just get out and get it done.
Being consistent can be much easier if you're running with other people. Set a date and time every week, and that way you're ticking that run off. Also, if you join a running club, many of them will have 5k beginner programs that you can get yourself started with.
Motivation is the key to getting you to the start line of your very first 5k. Have a think about the reasons why you're doing it. Maybe you're doing it to raise money for charity, or you're doing it in memory of a loved one, or maybe this is the first step for you to tackling a longer distance in the future. Whatever your reasons are, make a list of bullet points for why you're running this 5k and stick it somewhere where you can see it. So maybe put it on your fridge or put it on your bathroom mirror. Somewhere that's going to remind you, because that could be the difference of getting out for a training run or not.
On the flip side though, don't lose motivation if you have a bad run or you miss one altogether. We're not elite athletes, and life does happen, and sometimes things will just get in the way. If it's happening all the time though, then you need to think, why am I actually skipping that run? If music helps you, make yourself a killer playlist. Get some tracks on there that get you really pumped and ready to take on the world. Try something that really means something personally to you. Maybe it's a tune that you always dance to with your best mate, or it could even be the first song you played at your wedding. Whatever it is, use it to get yourself motivated. Nobody's judging.
Some people don't like running with music though, so perhaps try an audiobook or a podcast instead. We've got a list of our favourite podcasts that you can check out to give you an idea. Or you could try counting, that's Paula Radcliffe's trick. Or you can try what's called quiet running. So just listen to your footsteps and your surroundings and your breathing, and that way you can really get in the zone whilst you're running.
When the day of the event rolls around, as well as lots of butterflies, you'll probably have a lot of questions. Where's the loo? How do I get to the start line? Where can I leave my things? The good news is, if you're running an organised race, they'll probably give you all that information in advance.
Get all of your kit out the night before. You don't want to be wasting precious energy in the morning running around trying to find your left sock or a spare safety pin if you need to pin on a bib number for your race. That way everything is all ready for you and it's a lot easier and calmer in the morning. Plus, don't treat yourself to a new pair of trainers to run your race in either. Remember the golden rule, nothing new on race day. That includes all of the kit that you're wearing as well. Wear something that you felt comfortable in during a training run. That way you're less likely to get any chafing or blisters.
If you're doing a park run as your first event, it's a good idea to sign up to one as a volunteer to one first. That way you can get to meet some new people, get to know the course and get to allay any fears or concerns you have about what's about to take place. Also, if you get a chance, have a look at the terrain. Are there any hills? If you get to know the ups and downs of the course, it's going to be much easier on the day.
Don't get too carried away with the excitement and buzz of race day. As soon as you're off and running, it can be really easy to just hammer that first mile, but then you might find the next 2.1 a little bit more tricky because you've used up your energy reserves. The best way to do this and make sure that you're pacing yourself okay is not to start too near the front, near those faster runners, unless of course you're going to be running fast as well. But if you manage to pace yourself correctly, you'll have enough energy left in the tank to start overtaking people at the end, which feels absolutely great. And speaking of overtaking people, when you're running in a race, it will feel quite different to when you've been out and training on your own and doing runs on your own, because there are loads more people around you who are running at different paces. It's a good way to try and push yourself a little bit harder by keeping up with somebody ahead of you. I like to call it picking people off, because then when you overtake them at the end, it feels amazing. Don't worry too much though if you don't get your pacing right on race day. It happens to everyone all of the time, and it's just something to learn from and remember for next time.
Recruit friends and family to support you on the sidelines and at the finish. Their support is going to mean the world. They're also great for taking photos so you can brag about it later. Also, smile too. Not only will the photos look better, but it will help you relax and actually help you run better because you'll feel less tense.
Don't forget to take it all in when you finish. You've just finished your first 5K and you'll never get that feeling again. Chances are it was probably an early start as well, so why not grab your support crew and head off and get some brunch after to reward yourself. Well done on making it to the end of your first 5K. Check out the running channel for some more tips for running beginners, and we'll see you next time.